Welcome, everybody, back to the Brand to Table podcast. Got another amazing guest for you today. Another food influencer that is going to knock your socks off. Been following her for a while, loving what she's doing, and she's got a very unique story that a lot of other influencers don't have. So without further ado, I want to introduce Lauren Spiechowski
Wow, good.
from The Hungry Social Worker. What's going on, Lauren?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing pretty awesome. So, welcome to the show, first and foremost. I know this is your first podcast, so I'm going to
Yeah,
go super
thank
easy on
you.
you. So, for those that don't already know who you are, tell us a little bit about the Hungry Social Worker and how this awesome name sort of came to life.
I'm a hospital social worker in the city, and I've always loved food and posting about food, and everyone knows me around the hospital as a major foodie. I'm like the go-to reservation maker, getting everyone ready for dinner. I order for the table. Everyone always says we trust Lauren to make all the reservations. So I was posting like my photos on my personal page, and a lot of people, my friends, my coworkers are like, you should make a foodie page. You should make a foodie page. So shout out to the physical therapist I work with, Dale. He was like, "You have to make a foodie page." And I'm like, "What am I going to call it? The Hungry Social Worker?" And he's like, we both looked at each other and we're like, "Oh my God, actually that has a nice flow to it." So I had so much content on my phone already. Like I've been so many places already. So I just started uploading and posting and it just kind of took off. I don't know.
That's awesome. I love that. See how things just evolve?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
even like try and it just happens.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, that was, like, the beauty of it, like, I have such a passion for food that I had so much content and I just had it all, you know? So, why not upload it and see what happens?
Not everybody can be like Lauren. Come on.
I try.
Your full-time gig is as a social worker by day, food influencer by night. How do those two worlds sort of influence each other, and what keeps you passionate about both? Because that's some juggling acts that you have to handle here.
Yeah, my number one question is, like, how do you have the time to do it all? And that's I don't have time, but somehow I make the time, and, I take the bus in every day from I commute to work, and that's, like, my office time, so that's when I do all, like, my editing and everything, so but I connect the 2 worlds by I think because I connect with people every day, I meet so many people, patients, families, coworkers, just people in general, and food is something you can connect with everyone, and it's just such a natural topic that comes up. So like it's such a nice blend of my two worlds because I have such a public job and I work with all sorts of, backgrounds, religions, people, so food is something that always comes up and it's such a fun topic. And it also, when people are going through a hard time in the hospital, having a stroke or whatever the case may be, I cover the neuro ICU. So people really are having hard times. Sometimes if appropriate, food is brought up and you really develop a rapport with people and you connect with them. It's just a nice way to connect. So I think the 2 worlds it's such a nice compliment in an odd way. Like I would never think that, but it's such a nice compliment.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. I told you off camera. I worked for Hackensack Medical Center for 9 years. I think
Yeah.
8 or 9 years before I started getting into marketing and started my own company doing this. We're going back like 16, 17 years now. So I'm dating myself. Yeah, I mean, and we worked with a lot of social. I worked in the children's hospital in the SID center. So I worked with a lot of social workers. You deal with a lot of stress, right? You through families, through patients, and you just seem so genuine and so bubbly and so energetic when you're doing these food shoots. My question to you is like, how do you keep the excitement alive after you're visiting all those patients and then you're going to restaurants to shoot content and shoot marketing footage?
I mean, but it's such a first of all, food is my happiness. Everyone who knows me knows I love food. It gives me pure pleasure and it's one of my passions. So to me, I don't view this as work. Like my Instagram is not work. It's fun. I mean, it is work. I mean, it takes time and there's effort that goes into it, but it's such a nice side hobby that it balances the hard days, the really tough times. And I get to kind of forget it all when I'm at these restaurants and eating my food and taking pictures and photos and just, I like to bring my loved ones with me, my friends. So like we share the experience and it's a stress reliever for me, honestly. So yes, it's work, but there's so much that I gain from it that I mean, I've met so many people from doing this and networking, like social work is networking and communicating and meeting people. So that also ties nicely into it. But that's what keeps me going. And people love hearing like people are so curious by me when they're like, "What? You're a social worker? Like, how'd you get into this and everything?" So it's a fun conversation topic too.
Yeah, so you said, you met so many people through being a creator and getting into the restaurant space and things like that. You love talking to chefs and you love hearing their stories. What's something you learned in those conversations that most guests wouldn't realize about what goes into actually running a restaurant? Because there's a lot behind the scenes that goes down.
Yeah, yeah. I love like my one of my favorite things is when like a chef or owner like pulls up a chair at the table and just starts getting into it and talking and we're like, it's fascinating how much goes into it. And a lot of times it's like an old family business and now like the new generation's taking over and they're using social media to kind of revamp the space, the place that's been there for 50, 60 years. And so I love hearing like those stories and just I don't know, just it's just I love hearing the background of it all and like in social work, we assess things. So it's like kind of like my assessment to be like, wow, like what goes into that and that family recipe and what, you quit your job doing finance and now you open up your dream pizza place. Like, what was that like for you? Is that scary? Is it stressful? How's it going? So I just love like hearing people's stories and I'm a people person. So I love talking to them and hearing how they ended up running a ghost kitchen or dreaming or, getting their dream restaurant or taking over from their fathers and what that meant to them. So there's so many layers to restaurants and it is about the food, but there's also so many stories behind these restaurants and the food and the recipes and passed down recipes from, from grandparents and stuff. So I love all that stuff. It gets me interested and it's just fun.
I don't think you'd be doing what you're doing today, like, if you weren't that type of person. Because social work takes a lot of interpersonal skills,
Yes.
to
Yeah.
be able to sit and listen with intention and all that. So, I think that comes in handy, when
Yes.
you're coming into a restaurant and you're digging into that restaurateur's story. I
Hmm.
think it's so inspiring to hear, and then it probably comes out in your work, which I wanna get into because you go after that wow factor. You go after that wild factor to really pull people in. So, what kind of moments make you stop and say, "Yep, this is the shot that's gonna grab everybody's attention for this spot"?
Yeah, it's like I get really excited when I'm filming and I see that like wow factor. I just love like the epic cheese pulls and like kind of the well, what is that? What is that? And even when I'm looking at food videos and pictures, like I think of myself like what made me stop at that video? What made me go back? What made me screenshot that place for later on? So I'm always trying to keep that in mind when I'm doing my filming. Anything that's beautiful, anything that tastes amazing, and I just wanna, like, show how, like, delicious it is, like, it's hard to explain, I don't know, I guess I don't really think about it or I don't really plan it, it just happens, and
Yeah.
it has to be natural, I do my best to showcase, like, the delicious food.
Yeah. Well, you talk to me about your passion about making the restaurants that you work with look as spectacular as you possibly can. Walk us through that creative process. So you're booked for a collab, you
Mhm.
come in. What are you thinking about when you're shooting the content?
It's a great question. It's like I'm just it's like the eye, the look of it all. Like I'm trying to capture someone going to that place, kind of like point of view style, where it's like this is what it would be like if you came here, and as accurately as possible. So if I see something beautiful, like I want to highlight that beauty and decoration, or maybe a beautiful cocktail where you wouldn't like you're like, oh, I never knew they made beautiful cocktails. Like let me like showcase that or just like the environment, the atmosphere, like I wanna capture it all. I want someone to be like, "That's gonna be as close as possible to my experience if I go to that restaurant."
Yeah. Yeah, people wanna feel like they're there,
Yes.
They wanna feel like they're part of the sit down, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you talk to me about this. You said that you've been to quite a bit of like classic old school spots
Mhm.
that people really love. So I want you to name a couple. But
Yeah.
why do you think those spots still resonate so much with audience today? Because the audience today is very different
Yeah.
than the audience from yesterday.
100%. Yeah. I like first of all, when these places like let me come, I'm like, yes, like thank you so much. Like it's an honor. Like White Manna in Hackensack. Like I grew up going there. So
Oh my
very
goodness.
For me, it's like very full circle. Same thing with Hiram's. Like, I remember watching the Anthony Bourdain episode when he went there, and I grew up not too far from there, so I used to go there all the time as a child. So, like, to come as an influencer and like content creator, it's like such an honor to highlight these places because it's so nostalgic. They never go out of style, these places. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are. And I know there's like a whole new generation, but people love nostalgic places and just that classic, like, fried hot dog ripper taste, like you can't get there everywhere. So for me, it's just kind of, and like, it's keeping their legacy going. It's showing, this place is like a classic for a reason. You have to try it. It's iconic.
Yeah, I feel like they do very little and they don't have to do much. Like
Yes.
that reputation's there. It's sort of embedded in this area, the tri-state area.
Yeah.
And it's like that does a lot for them on the marketing side, on the branding side, really. And I think that just people wanna get behind the scenes in places like that, you know? It's like reminds me of, like, Goodfellas, right? When he's walking through the kitchen, like, the
Yeah.
people love that behind the scenes look and feel, especially in those types of spots, right? And they love those, like, fun facts that, like, you might not know,
Hmm.
um, you might not know about that goes into, what they do every day.
Yeah. And
So
the history of it all.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So let me ask you this. If a restaurant owner asked you how to make their food and experience more Instagrammable, what would you tell them?
So, yeah, I mean, obviously presentation is everything. I mean, taste to me is number one, but presentation, the first thing we do is look at the food. So I want to get excited when I see that food coming, when it comes down in front of my plate. I mean, to be honest with you, sometimes I'm like, this cheese needs to be more melty. Like, let's make it more melty. Not in a bad way. Things happen, but I think presentation and just, yeah, like that wow factor, but also not like, don't reinvent the wheel. Like, if you're a burger place, like, let's make the best burger. If
Mhm.
you're a hot dog place, let's make the best hot dog. Like, you don't have to go fancy. Fancy doesn't you always equal amazing and wow. So I don't know, that I feel like that's what gets me excited when I go to these restaurants and I see like huge burgers and lobster this, that excites me. But I don't know, I think presentation and just be authentic as possible.
Well, I love the fact that you kind of creative direct them
Mhm.
when the stuff comes out because I think, restaurant owners can get very what's the word? In the weeds,
Mhm.
right? And they forget about some of the things that like people really care about. And it's as silly as a cheese pull. Like
Yes.
I didn't even think that was a thing, right?
Yes, it's very much a thing.
Yeah, like, I do work for Anthony Franco's pizzerias, and we were in there for a shoot, and he was like I was like, "What do you wanna do today?" And he's like, "Well, what do you think we should do?" And I was like, "You have mozzarella sticks?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "But that's such a basic freaking dish." And I'm like, "Yeah, but we're gonna pull this friggin' thing down the block, and it's gonna and you watch what happens, right? And sure as shit, it was one of the videos that got the most views and engagement. Is so silly. And I put some like weird opera song to it, right? Like and people went nuts over it. So it's kind of like that. So I love the fact that you guide them because I think a lot of times when it comes to this stuff, there's guidance involved. And who better to get that guidance from is somebody like you that's pretty much doing this for a living
Yeah.
and really has put in tremendous amount of effort into it. Now, let's flip the script a little bit. Working with influencers. I asked this to every influencer that came on the show so far, but what is some of the best ways restaurant owners approach creators like yourselves for
Yeah.
collaboration? What makes a great partnership in your perspective?
I think communication is key. That's like number one. Like, what are they expecting? What are you expecting? What do they want from you? What do they want to highlight from you? And just kind of having like a little debrief before the collab, just so like everyone's on the same page because you don't want any miscommunication. I like to be like super duper clear with everything. So I think that's like a major and just show and just I don't know, having fun with it, obviously. I know that's a very basic answer, but just having fun with it, and just making sure, like, all everything is covered that both parties want. I think that's very, very important.
Well, there is such a common denominator here. You are the third influencer who has said the same exact thing. So,
Yes,
guys,
important.
listen to them because they're all saying the same thing. Clear expectations, preparation, do your homework. Make sure that you trust these folks. I don't know why somebody would do business with somebody they don't trust.
Mhm. Yeah.
A business coach of mine years ago said, "You trust who you hire who you trust.
Mm.
And if there's an ounce of doubt, move on.
Yeah.
Just move on."
Good advice.
So, yeah, it was fantastic advice. And that was like a decade ago. So it's like it has stuck with me that long. What's one thing you want restaurant owners to understand about the passion most creators have for this type of work?
Yeah. I mean, I can speak for myself. I don't know how others are. I've met a lot of other foodie influencers, and it's an instant connection, instant friendship because we have this foodie world in common. So I definitely see the passion in other foodies and what makes us excited. And it's like I really felt I found my people, I found my tribe. And my passion is I try my best to just show my passion through my videos, and it's all real, it's all genuine, it's all authentic, and just trying to show that and just showing it. And I think either you feel it or you don't. And it's kind of as simple as that.
Love it. I love it. All right. Well, Lauren, this was such a pleasure. First of all, thank you for coming on the show. And it was a pleasure meeting you for the first time. Guys, you got to go check out Lauren. Lauren, where can they find you on social media? Give them your handle
Mhm.
and tell them the best way to get in touch with you.
The best way to reach me is on Instagram at the Hungry SW, and TikTok is at the Hungry Social Worker. You can DM me, you can email me, and we can start chatting and try to figure something out.
Guys, she is so easy to work with.
Thank
Go check her out and have her come in. Do one shoot with her and see how it goes. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised and you're going to be like, "You know what? I'm going to book you out."
you. Yeah, I
So,
appreciate that.
yeah, Laura, keep doing what you're doing. You are amazing at what you do. And I'm not just saying that. Like, I hand selected these folks that are coming on this series because I took my time to kind of research and look at what you guys have been doing over a period of time. And I'm looking for the folks that are really serious about it. And you're it. So thank you again for coming on the show. And that's a wrap, guys. So make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, share this episode and show with somebody in the industry that you think could get value out of this. I'm here for you. If you ever need marketing, shoots, influencer marketing, setups, the whole nine, let me know. Shoot me a DM, give me a call, email me, send smoke signals. You know how to find me. Have an amazing day, guys, and we'll catch you on the next episode real soon. Talk to you.